This seems to be a pretty common thing. There are plenty of incredibly successful shows in the audio realm that have huge numbers, whether it be through RSS downloads, Spotify, SoundCloud, or their own website. But when they try to move that audience to a different platform, that fails. Because why would their audience care to go to a different platform if they're already getting all of the content that they want? I have a very similar issue, even on platform. I have tried to move people over from Podcastage to the Bandrew Says podcast, and they just don't care. Calls to action are incredibly difficult because you can't just say, hey, support me over here, go download this other thing that I'm doing, go over here and do this thing that I need you to do because it benefits me. You can't just do that. You can't just have calls to action for the sake of having calls to action. You need to have calls to action and frame it in a way that benefits the person who you are asking to take that action. How is going over to this audio podcast going to benefit the person you're asking to do that? How is that podcast viewer, the Podcastage viewer, going to benefit from going over and actually subscribing to the Bandrew Says podcast? That's why I don't start any of my videos with, hey, smash that like button, smash that subscribe, go ahead and go over here and give that advertiser money. Because why would anybody do that for me when I have offered them nothing in return? And why would anybody care how that benefits me? If you hit that like button, it's going to help me so much. They don't care. Go over and subscribe to the RSS feed. Why? What are they getting out of it? Hey, you're listening to the audio. Go over to the YouTube version. Why? Why? What do they get out of it? If they want the video version, great. You've given them the option, but that call to action, that transference of audience from one platform to another, good gravy. It is difficult. Getting people to act on any call to action, in my experience, is incredibly difficult. Maybe I am just not that likable. Maybe I am just bad at this and people don't care about me and what I do. I am basing this off my experience, but the way I interpret it, you need to frame your call to action and why would the audience want to? What is the benefit they are receiving from taking part in that call to action? And that is being generous in this interpretation of what you're saying because maybe they are not tailoring the content that they were making to YouTube, to the YouTube audience, to the YouTube algorithm. I am just assuming their calls to action were subpar, just like mine are. My calls to action stink. But I don't do this for money. I don't do it for views, so I don't care. I am not trying to prove a darn thing, so I don't care if people do it. So maybe their calls to action stink. Maybe the content was not appealing to the people on the platform. Maybe the audience that existed in the audio realm was getting everything that they wanted. Or here is the real mind bender. Maybe they were lying about their stats that were all private. All of their private stats, maybe they were lying about them. I have questioned that before. When I was helping somebody out, they said, how do I get 50 or 100,000 downloads on the audio, but 50 on the YouTube video? I explained how they can improve the YouTube version of the video, but I questioned, are you really getting 50,000 downloads? I didn't say this to them. And if they see this, I mean, no disrespect, but I questioned, if you're getting 50,000 downloads, if you're getting 100,000 downloads, why aren't you getting more on the YouTube? Are you not doing a call to action to go over? Are you not letting your audio people know that that's an option? You'd expect a bit more if you have 50,000 downloads. Pretty wild. So maybe these radio people were lying to you about their behind-the-scenes stats. Or if you had access to the analytics, I would love to know. Were they really getting 50, 100, 500,000 downloads in the audio realm? And then only getting 2 views in the live stream? Let me know. I was following a podcast company's YouTube channel for a while, and their numbers were horrible. This company called it the podcast about broadcast. It was experienced radio broadcasters who had moved to podcasting and were professing expertise in the area. It surprised me that their views, duration watched, and engagement was absolutely horrible. I asked them about it because often I was one of only 2 people watching on their live streams, and they said their numbers were way better on their other platforms. Basically, RSS streams, their website, iTunes, and the various hosting sites, but YouTube is a dud for them. Sean, thank you very much for the comment.